Welcome to the Sound Creator Podcast, where I explore the fascinating world of sound design and sound effects. I'm your host, Cedric Black, and in each episode, I dive deep into the art of creating unique audio experiences. Join me as I share my personal journey in sound design, from crafting realistic sound effects to building captivating soundscapes. On this show, I will dive into this unique art of sound that brings movies, games, and media to life. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Sound Creator Podcast. It's good to have you back again, and it's good to be able to bring you a new episode, a new weekly episode. Focus on, I get excited about making sure that I'm able to carve out room in my schedule to record new episodes every week. I do have a busy schedule, like most people. I know all of you guys that are listening are busy, so which is another reason why a lot of people, including myself, listen to podcasts on the go. Most of the time I'm listening in my car while I'm driving, or if I'm taking a walk, I'm usually listening to a podcast. I listen to music, I listen to a lot of things, but I do listen to a lot of podcasts to, I guess, keep up with things or just stay informed about a lot of things that I'm interested in. A new thing that I have come across that I've been learning about is Chat GPT. I know a lot of people haven't really heard about Chat GPT yet, but it's really catching on. It's an artificial language, AI, learning language model, I think that's what it's called. And it's really good. It's helped me out a lot. It helps me in areas where I'm weak. I'm not really strong at writing things or putting words together, so it helps me in that area. I'm still learning about it. It's still fairly new. I've been using it for the past few months. As soon as I found out about it, I started learning about it. And it's been really good. It's been helpful in a lot of ways. And I hope to continue to learn more about it, to see how I can implement it into my workflow somehow to help me even better. But if you haven't heard from it, it's called Chat GPT. I mean, this podcast is not going to be, this episode is not going to be about Chat GPT. I just wanted to pass along some great information that I think would be helpful to a lot of people, because it definitely is for me. So this episode is about sound. I'm bringing you a new sound, something that I thought was really interesting, but it seems like every week I play a sound, I say that it's interesting, because every sound is interesting to me, because they all have a story behind them. There's a reason why the sound is able to be created, and there's a reason why it's able to sound the way that it sounds. So this sound is, it's called electromagnetic sound. It's electromagnetic static sound. And the way that I was able to capture this sound, I used an electromagnetic field microphone. And with these microphones, I'm able to capture sound waves with frequencies that are usually outside of our audible limit of human hearing. These are little special microphones that have an induction coil inside of them, and I'm able to capture and convert electromagnetic fields. In other words, it's abbreviated as EMF. And I'm able to convert this signal into audible sounds that that can be heard. We've heard these sounds before, but usually when we hear these sounds, they're associated with buzzing, also glitches, radio transmissions that we hear. We've heard this on movies. A lot of times, even growing up, you see old movies, also science fiction movies where they're transmitting signal and you hear that glitchy electric sound. So it's associated with electricity and voltage. Sometimes shocking if you watch a movie, you see someone with I forget what it's called, but the police have them that they use to shock people with. It'll come to my mind, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. That's what it is. It's a taser. So that sound that a taser makes, that noise, that shocking noise, this sparkling noise, it's also associated with power surges, static, power line, or some type of electrical circuit. And the way that I was able to capture that sound was directly from my TV screen, because electricity runs through the TV screen. I don't really hear, I know electricity is there to power the TV, but those frequencies that it transmits, you really don't hear that. So with these microphones, you're able to pick up I was able to pick up the signal. I did test out many appliances and components. I also tested out the computer monitor that I use, a couple of them, my iPad, a cell phone, and a light switch, electrical sockets. All those objects gave me a lot of different variations of that sound, of the buzzing noise or the electrical noise, the shocking noise. And you'll hear this in a minute. I'll play it so you can hear it. And you've heard it so many times, but like everything else, we never pay attention to it when we hear it. We see it in movies, we recognize what it is, but we never knew that there was a scientific term associated with it, a title that was associated with it. So here's the sound. Let me play it real quick, and we'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. I know it's not a pretty sound. It's an irritating sound to some. I think a lot of times when we hear it in the movie setting or in the movie scene, that's probably the reason why we don't hear it, because it's usually something short. It's a short length. It's a small amount of time, because it's probably too irritating to the ear for something like that to prolong itself, to have a prolonged sound like that. So it's always something short, quick. I'll turn on the light switch and blow a fuse. It's just something really quick, a half a second split. But as you can see, that sound is used quite often. And when you think about it, think about how many times you've heard this sound, and see if there's something maybe that you've encountered recently that you can connect to that sound. I know it's not going to sound exactly the way that my sound was just heard, because I use something different. I use my TV screen, but it could be anything that's a conductor of electricity that we have around our house, and produces that same signal that can be converted to sound. You can't capture that with a regular microphone. You have to have that special electromagnetic microphone. It has to be an EMF microphone that's able to capture those frequencies that's coming from the source. So I think that's the secret. That's the key to everything, because a regular microphone only picks up sounds that I think that it hears. That's probably a good way to put it. These are special microphones, and they aren't really placed directly. I have placed them directly on the source, but they're usually, the way I captured this particular sound with the TV, I was able to barely glaze across the screen, left and right, up and down. So it has to be really close to the sound source. But with a traditional microphone, you place it in one location, and you have to manually cause the object to vibrate to create the sound. With these microphones, I don't do anything but capture the frequencies that are emitting out, but we can't hear that. So that's what the microphones do. They capture what we can't hear, and I'm able to convert it into what we can hear. Hope that was interesting enough to you, and I hope that, as with each episode, that this was informative in some way, interesting to you, and maybe piques your interest in an area that you weren't really familiar with. This is another episode in my world of sound design and sound effects. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. If you found value in what you've heard, I kindly ask you to spread the word about the Sound Creator Podcast. Share it with your friends, colleagues, and anyone who shares your fascination for the power of sound. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your preferred platform so you never miss an episode. You can also stay connected with me through my main website at cedricblack.com or at cedblack on Instagram. Thank you once again for being part of this incredible journey. I look forward to bringing you more captivating episodes in the future. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and let the light be